Lyft driver was drugged. A Lyft driver was drugged, kidnapped, and raped. Be careful. Check it out.
10 alarming details about a rideshare attack. Good evening. I'm Russ Spencer.
I'm Courtney Bryant. Investigators in Alpharetta say a Lyft passenger drugged, kidnapped, then raped the driver last month.
Fox 9's Rob Durienzo is live from Alpharetta PD headquarters with new details tonight. And Rob, you spoke with investigators.
Yeah, that's right, guys. Good evening to you both. An unbelievably disturbing series of events. It ended with that woman, the Lyft driver, waking up in a hotel room. She had no clue where she was. Her car was gone.
There was a Lyft driver who was given a patron a ride to a local area restaurant.
Alpharetta investigators say that patron was 32-year-old DeMarcus Johnson. During the ride, they say Johnson and the woman driving for Lyft connected.
The two engaged in conversation, agreed to have a drink with one another, at which time the victim doesn't remember and is unable to account for the events that evening.
Cops say at some point on the night of March 11th, Johnson drugged her.
Her toxicology report came back with prescription narcotics that she's not prescribed and that she reportedly does not take.
Investigators say the victim woke up the next morning in a hotel room unfamiliar to her. Her car was gone, and so was Johnson, and police say she realized she was raped. Cops say they worked with Lyft, tracked down cell phone records, and retraced their moves that night.
We worked with Lyft, and then we also worked with local area restaurants and hotels that they visited throughout the evening.
Last Friday, nearly 4 weeks after the horrific ordeal, Alpharetta police arrested Johnson on charges that include rape, kidnapping, and aggravated assault. Lyft called the incident, quote, reprehensible, adding, "We have been in contact with the driver to offer our support." Additionally, the rider's account was permanently removed from the Lyft platform, and we assisted law enforcement with their investigation. And tonight we've learned that Johnson is behind bars in Gwinnett County on separate failure to appear charges. He's also wanted on holds out of Henry County as well as Lake City Police Department.
Y'all got to be careful, man. You know, I was evaluating something because somebody was on a coaching call with me yesterday, and they said, yeah, man, I can't find love on this app, or I keep running into these people and stuff like that. And I said, bro, don't you realize that these applications are not, and I'm going to bring it around to this Lyft conversation. I said, don't you realize that these applications are not built for you to find love? He said, what do you mean? I said, well, if you find love through the application, or if you do something that actually benefits you through the application and you find love, then you actually break the business model for the application itself. It's designed to keep you continuously going back into the application itself in order to find a thing that's not best for you. I'm going to need you to catch that one. The apps that you then find the people that you date or you interacting with, often at times in every single way possible, is the worst thing that you can ever use. And a lot of times what we're using now and what I'm seeing now is that, for example, Instagram for a lot of people is now just a dating application. It's not even, it's a way for you to figure out who it is that you want to fly in and fly out in order to bust them down. That's what it is. And now what I've been seeing and what I've been hearing a lot of times, because I talked to another person the other day, and they said they met somebody that they interacted with on Lyft. And I said, what? When I was Uber. And then I'm looking at this story going down, making sure that y'all wind up interacting with each other and all of that type of stuff. You will have a drink. Next thing you know, you got a date rape drug when you do the toxicology report. And you find yourself bust down with no car, and a dude then ran off with your stuff, and he took your innocence. He took your innocence. And ladies, I don't know how many more times I got to say this. It's already dangerous enough for us. It's already dangerous enough for us. I know that a lot of y'all are doing what y'all have to do in order to survive. So you're driving the apps, you're doing stuff like that. If you can, find yourself a halfway decent dude that want to do right by you and is willing to build with you and give you his last name and hold it down. I'm telling you, I said this the other Wednesday when I jumped off of Harley Initiated, and I said, listen, I know y'all keep talking about toxic masculinity, and Anton is saying that, and Anton is saying this, but in real life, I don't know any woman that want to be out here driving Lyft at night. I don't know any woman that want to have 2 jobs. I don't know any woman that want to be out here competing with a person like me that's willing to do whatever it is that I got to do in order to make sure that I get everything for the people that I care for. You do not want to be out here trying to figure it out and thinking and operating like you're a man. You don't want it. I wouldn't want it for my daughter. And in the same way that I would not tell a man to go and marry or get with a woman that's not best for him, is the same way that I'm going to care for you, ladies. And I'm going to tell you that you don't want to be out here suffering. I'm going to treat my ladies that I love the same way that I would treat and tell my daughter. I wouldn't tell my daughter to go out here and suffer. I'm not going to tell you to go out here and suffer. If you can, and find the person that's best for you, not the person that want to bust you down the most, and align yourself with the person that is supposed to be going in the direction that you're going in. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. In addition to that, all right, suspect is granted multiple $100 bonds. Hey, where is that at? Why is that not showing? Give me a second. Got a little bit of technical hiccup. There we go. Suspect is offered multiple $100 bonds. This is what you got to look forward to if you're out here in these streets. You see this person? This person is young as piss, early 20s, multiple different mug shots. You know what he do for a living? Kick your butt. Check it out.
On tonight's Breaking Bond, a suspended Harris County felony court judge grants $100 bonds to a 21-year-old man accused of terrorizing 3 young women while on probation.
Fox 26's Randy Wallace is joining us live from the courthouse tonight with the latest in his ongoing series. Randy.
Yeah, Anthony. Now, before his suspension last February, 228th Criminal Court Judge Frank Aguilar set some of the lowest bonds we've ever seen for charges of kidnapping, sexual assault, and tampering with a witness. February 2023, 21-year-old Frank Jaroge is sentenced to deferred probation after being convicted of assault with intent to impede breathing. Just 2 months on probation, and Jaroge is charged with assault and violating a protective order.
Assault and an attempt to impede breathing. First of all, that's a wild charge. So you trying to suffocate somebody. You trying to choke somebody out. Assault, so you beat them up with intent to impede breathing. I ain't never going to jail. I already know it. I ain't never going to jail. Lawyers is too good. Listen, if these dudes is impeding breathing and beating y'all tail and they still getting out on $100 bonds, I ain't never going to jail. I ain't never going to jail. I don't even worry about getting pulled over no more. I just do what I want to do in the car. Police be sitting right there. What up, though? They be like, Anton, what you doing? I was like, oh, I thought tickets was only a suggestion for people that got resources. I thought tickets was, listen, what you gonna do? Stop me? You know what I'm saying? Tickets is only a suggestion for people that got resources. That's a suggested, hey, that sign right there, slow down, that's a suggestion. That's not a requirement. Nope, I ain't never going to jail. If he could choke somebody out, get out, do it again, get out, do it again, and get arrested by the time that he's 21, 22 years old and got 10 mug shots, and he's still out here running the streets, I ain't even got to worry about it. I'm going to be out on the street all day, every day. All day, every day. If he ain't even got no money and he young, and he got a record and he walking around, you can forget it. I'm going to be out here in these streets, man.
Normally, if you're charged with offenses while you're on probation and you get a bond, the bond gets increased. His bonds kept getting lower.
Judge Frank Aguilar set bonds at just $100 for violent felonies like sexual assault, kidnapping, domestic violence, and witness tampering. 7 times Aguilar set Jaroge's bond at just $100.
I don't know how in God's name you cannot take a look at this and say, dude, you're a threat to public safety. You're a threat to these women.
That's crazy in itself for the things he's done, not just to my relative, but to other young ladies.
This man, who we are not identifying, is related to the woman who, when charging documents, was repeatedly terrorized and abused by Jaroge.
Choked her on a few occasions till she couldn't breathe, bit her on quite a few occasions, bit her toenail off at one point.
Court documents state Jaroge told the woman, "It's your death wish today."
DA's office files a motion to adjudicate his probation 4 times.
Judge Aguilar refused the DA's motion to end Jaroge's probation and send him to prison. Last January, Aguilar became a felony defendant himself.
Aguilar was actually charged in Galveston County New Year's Eve with his own family assault charges.
After the judge's arrest, the DA's office asked Aguilar to recuse himself.
You shouldn't be hearing cases involving domestic violence when you yourself are facing a charge involving domestic violence.
Aguilar refused the request. Last February, he was suspended from the bench by the State Judicial Conduct Commission.
At what? Y'all do know that a lot of these judges are voted on, right? When y'all go to the poll, this is why it's important for y'all to pay attention to who's on the bench, who's running. Most people, I would say 99% of the population, 99% of the population does not know who's even on the bench. Y'all don't know nothing about these judges. Y'all don't know their background. Y'all don't know nothing about them. Y'all just go through and check it off. And whoever is at the top of the list is the person that get voted in on the judge's bench. Most people have no clue. No clue. These are regular, everyday people just like you. And they are out here controlling your fate, determining who's going to get in and out of jail, who's going to be out here in the street. They enforcing the laws. They the ones that send the criminals back to the streets. Man, listen, bro. It's rough. Ladies, it's rough out here for y'all. Y'all advocated for this, and now you got to suffer as a result of it. Last but not least, Arizona is upholding a 1864 abortion ban law. I had this conversation with y'all a little bit when I was talking about Trump yesterday. Quick hits, just check it out real quick, and then we're going to move on with the show.
And this morning, there's a lot of fallout from a ruling on an abortion case in Arizona.
So the state Supreme Court ruled that a law from 1864 that criminalizes nearly all abortions can be enforced. Robert Moses taking a closer look this morning. What's going on?
Rosanna and Kurt, while the ruling applies only to Arizona, it could well have national implications. Think about it. In a tight presidential election, as this one is shaping up to be, any one issue could galvanize enough voters to swing the race, and abortion could well be that issue.
It is a dark day in Arizona.
Democratic Governor Katie Hobbs decried the Arizona Supreme Court's 4-2 ruling. The justices, all Republican appointees, said an 1864 law banning nearly all abortions is now enforceable because of the overturning of Roe v. Wade. Physicians are now on notice that all abortions, except those necessary to save a woman's life, are illegal, the court ruled. The justices put their ruling on hold for 14 days to allow for a lower court to hear more arguments about the constitutionality of the 1864 law. Planned Parenthood Arizona, the plaintiff, had argued that other measures, including a 2022 state law banning abortion after the 15th week of pregnancy, made the 1864 law moot. But the Arizona Supreme Court didn't buy that argument. Reaction from the White House was strong. Millions of Arizonans will soon live under an even more extreme and dangerous abortion ban, which fails to protect women even when their health is at risk or in tragic cases of rape or incest. President Joe Biden said in a statement, "This ruling is a result of the extreme agenda of Republican elected officials who are committed to ripping away women's freedom." The Alliance Defending Freedom, a conservative group, celebrated the ruling and said it will protect the lives of countless innocent unborn children. But Arizona's Attorney General, a Democrat, promised not to prosecute doctors for performing abortions, though individual district attorneys could decide to prosecute. The ruling could galvanize voters to head to the polls this fall.
To the people across Arizona who are concerned about the future of abortion rights in our state, who are worried about their bodily autonomy, who don't want to see the freedom of their wives, sisters, and daughters restricted, you can make your concerns known at the ballot box, and I encourage you to do so.
So look for this. The main reason why I played this, and the main reason I had a lot of different things that I wanted to share with y'all, but the main reason why I shared this in particular is because there's going to be a lot of swing states in the upcoming 2024 election, okay? And they're going to play on your emotions, and they're going to highlight this. You're going to see a whole lot of conversations about things like this, like abortion, and they're going to play on your emotions for things that you can't also control before you get into it in the first place. And I know that this is a passionate conversation for a lot of people, but in reality, there's a lot for you to be able to control, and you don't necessarily have to subject yourself to the emotional responses that would then cause you to vote one way or another for something that you control versus something that you can't. Look at the policies, look at the things that's the most meaningful. For whatever reason, I am not going to vote based off of what state or what is happening in my state from an abortion perspective. I'm going to vote based off of the policies that's the most meaningful in my life and for my family. Do not be distracted by conversations around things that you can already control yourself if there's other things that's more meaningful for you and your family. All right?